I clicked. Hi, good morning, good evening, as per your time zone. I'm Kumkum Sharma from 𝐻𝐸𝐿, and on the behalf of entire 𝐻𝐸𝐿 team, I would like to welcome you all on live open session episode 40. We are committed from long time, and people are committed with us. They are joining us, asking wonderful questions, and making these sessions successful and interactive and insightful for everyone. Again, today I have Mr. Saket Bansal with me. Thank you, Saket, for joining me and taking out time for this session. And without wasting any more time, let me just jump on the agenda. So, what is the agenda? Agenda is very simple. Whatever you have questions, you can ask your questions from Saket. I'll add your question and he'll answer your questions. How you can ask the question? Very simple. We are live on LinkedIn, we are live on YouTube. You can post your question in the comment box and I'll include your questions. So now over to you, Saket. How you would like to start this session today?
Great. So I think we wait for the questions to come. That's what we can do here. And it's been I think while we are running these sessions, even if the topics may be repetitive in nature, but I think the answers are different. And the person who is asking the question is different. So that's something is there. Now we have a question. What is the next certification after CSM? So in general, there are few defaults and then there are specific. Yeah. So defaults is like a leading safe and PMP. They usually work as a default programs. People can just take it after CSM. But specificity depends upon that what do you want to do with your CSM certification. If you are working in the product organization where the Scrum is used, the continuous product backlog is there is no contract, it's all about building the product like the Scrum way of working, then you may want to strengthen your skills into Scrum Mastery space alone. You want to work and learn more Scrum Mastery skills. Advanced Scrum Master and other skills are important. So that's a possible path. If you see in your organization, the Agile is getting used in a large scale, which is usually a scaled Agile framework, then getting ready for safe terminology is also a good option. If you are working in a service organization where sometime you are a Scrum Master, sometime you are a project manager, and things keeps changing here and there, then doing PMP certification is a good idea. So most of the time, what we see from our CSM groups is that people, because of the scaled Agile framework popularity, they go for leading safe, usually. Yeah. Again, it depends. ACSM people occasionally take 4%, and they take around 1 year before they come into a 4%, so little less percentage. PMP is a good percentage, but because PMP is a little rigorous process, so people enroll, but doing certification process takes time. So from our database, leading safe and PMP is the prominently chosen. Yes, each and every individual has their own certification need. They will decide based on that. Yeah, that's what I can say related to your questions. Okay, I think this is something we were discussing. The second question, is it good to do PMP certification or Safe Agile certification after Scrum Master? So as I said, yes, we do see people doing it. That's what I can see from our data. Now, PMP is a good and must kind of certificate when you work in the contract-based setup, which means there is a client who has given a work to your company and your company is running the project, and project is run sometime in Agile mode, sometime in non-Agile mode. If you're working in that setup and sometime you have a different client, sometimes they use non-Agile framework also, sometimes they use mix of these framework, then PMP is the certificate which you need because it helps you in learning the things which are involved in a project-based execution. So that's something is there. Scaled Agile framework, knowing Scaled Agile framework for all the Agile professionals or project management professional is a very desirable thing. Even if you are not using SAFe, but people like the professionals do expect the project management people, Scrum Masters should know what is Scaled Agile framework. They should know that. Yeah. So with that, leading SAFe program, which introduces the SAFe in the very well context, is something is a desired certificate, which we see people picking up after doing the CSM certification. So CSM certification helps them in knowing Scrum and maybe strengthening their Scrum Master role. They want to get ready with a large team-based Scrum role as well. So they want to understand Scaled Agile framework. Yeah. So both the certificates are usually chosen. We run all these, so I get people in my PMP class. Later on, they attend my SAFE class or vice versa. So that's a pretty common thing. And many of them are coming from our CSM classes. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. So if anyone is just joining in, we can talk about some of the certification queries, especially the one which we run. Probably we can help you in identifying which one is more appropriate for you out of our portfolio. And if you have a specific query related to the knowledge base or content we run, we can definitely talk about it. So I have an experience in Scrum Kanban framework, and I'm looking for Scaled Agile certification. I should say that I have experience in SAFe once certification is completed and try a new job. So should I say that I have an experience in SAFe? So probably you need to learn a little bit of SAFe, then you will know what you can do and how can you position your experience. We have good amount of videos, 50 plus videos on our YouTube channel, which can help you in knowing SAFe. Yeah. So you don't need to do a certification for knowing SAFe. Our videos can take care of it, and there is a good amount of material available on internet. Now, what is SAFe? In general, it's an aggregation of Agile, Scrum, Lean, Kanban, DevOps ideas and stitching them well so that they can solve an organizational wide agility problem. Because many of these ideas like Agile, Scrum and all, they are done in a pockets. Yeah, they are done for a particular team and all. So Scaled Agile framework integrates everything and it makes you a complete package. So that's what the SAFe is. The target audience or a target segment for SAFe is the whole organization. They are not positioning it a particular project management framework. It is a organization wide way of working which helps you in achieving the organization level. Now there are some lightweight flavors of SAFe also which can be used just for execution purpose, known as essential SAFe. So you need to look into all these things. Now, once you have an idea, probably you can definitely feel that essential SAFe was used in your organization. But for the whole organization level SAFe, probably you need to work in the SAFe experienced organization, then only you can find out. Yeah. Okay. So when should I go for Enterprise Agile Coach certification from IC Agile? You can go any point in time. From IC Agile perspective, you are welcomed. Yeah, you are come and there. Now, it doesn't cost much. It is not like as expensive as SPC. It's a more or less moderately cost, or I would say pretty equivalent cost as other Agile coaching certifications. When you say that I want to now target enterprise coaching as a job, I have enough understanding of operating as an agile coach. I might be working as a scrum master only, but I might be handling various activity which might fall under agile coaching space. So I want to get into agile coaching space. That's your intent is towards that. And in order to achieve that intent, you need to take various steps. Yeah, you may learn things which are needed for the enterprise agile coach. If you take IC Agile CAT program, there is a 2-3 things which are clearly beneficial by taking that. First, you come to know what does it take to become an enterprise agile coach. So you understand the competencies, roles and responsibility and expectation from an enterprise agile coach. That helps you in putting your path forward. You understand where I am heading towards. Yeah? Or if you want to build some skills, it tells you where you want to go. Second, it helps you in understanding how the overall transformation work. What are the various frame of references you can take? How do you start? How do you do a first level assessment? How do you move forward? And it runs the various case study to give you an idea how possibly a one particular agile transformation can work. Yeah. With these two information, now it's up to you to build your profile towards enterprise agile coaching. So I believe it helps you in understanding and putting your path forward for enterprise agile coaching path. Yeah. Okay. There is a question coming in. What is the advantage for a fresher to obtain a CSPO certification? So if you are a fresher and you are getting into the industry and you are focusing on business analysis space, product management and business analysis space, and you want to assist the group who is doing business analysis or product discovery work, then knowing how the product discovery is done in a Scrum context is a good idea by doing CSPO certification. Now, I do see many freshers engineering graduates, not many fresher engineering graduate doing CSPO, but I see many MBA freshers doing CSPO. So that's a thing, because many time organization hires these MBAs pass outs to facilitate various business analysis experience. So now again, someone may be coming from engineering background, but if you have an intent going towards business analysis with a customer interaction, product interaction, and product positioning space, then you may want to learn CSPO with the help of CSPO certification. You want to understand how the product management is done in a Scrum environment. Yeah. Now, Six Sigma, black belt, green belt, we are not expert, so I can't comment much there. Yeah, that's another question here. Okay, so I think we have covered something around Scrum, SAFe, PMP, Agile CAT, and CSPO certification till now. Okay, so I have completed CSM and I have done from 𝐎𝐩𝐞𝐧, I have done PMP and currently working as a project manager. What should be the next level should I go into? So I would say that with the help of PMP, you can say that you are focusing on project way of working, which is done greatly. You understand what is an agile way of Scrum way of working is. That is also a great thing to do. Now, what do you do next? I think these two are good foundational certificate. Probably you don't necessarily need anything next. Yeah. But if you see that in your organization, there is a high scale agile implementation is happening, and you may want to play a role into transformation and facilitating that particular change. Yeah, if you see that is my target area, agile coaching kind of thing, then probably you need to build your profile towards agile coaching. Yeah, if you see that, yeah, by doing ICP ACC towards agile coaching. If you say no, I want to stick to delivery and I know the CSM as a framework, I know generic project management, then better you also know scaled agile as a framework, because many times a large complex project or part of the project is using SAFe way of working. So you probably want to do that. So SAFe is something, it's like a Scrum at a big company, you know. So if you know Scrum for a small organization, you probably need to know SAFe for a big organization as well. But just knowing SAFe may not be sufficient because you need to put into the context. So direct advice, you can take SAFe. Leading SAFe program is good idea. If you have a goal towards getting into coaching space, then doing ICP, ACC, and few other certification from IC Agile can put you into the coaching path. Yeah. Okay. Great. So what is the future of Agile and Scrum? I think it's more about the frameworks probably have their own lifespan. We may need to focus on what is the future of work, and the framework will adapt accordingly. What I see here is nowadays, in my experience, people are not very particular about testing you on the Scrum skills, but they're more particular about how do you solve product problems, delivery problems, people problems using something. Yeah, you may use Scrum or you may use something else. So what I feel here, my personal observation, the theoretical understanding of Agile and Scrum is not much. Yeah, that's a desirable, that's a basic must have now, but that's not much differentiator. Whereas the ability to produce delivery and collaboration and movement, which is age-old facilitation, coaching, leadership skills, they are getting tested more and more. Yeah. So leading SAFe, yeah, if I am getting it, leading agile certification. So if you are focusing on leading SAFe, you have done leading SAFe, and I am assuming you have done certified Scrum Master already. Then focusing on project management, if you are working in a project context, that's a if is important, is a good idea. If you are focusing on product context, which means your organization is not running projects, they are working for themselves, Then probably you want to advance your learning into the coaching space, Scrum Mastery space with the help of Advanced Scrum Master and IC Agile coaching program. How relevant is a PGMP? See, PGMP is there from many years, and many time 10 years ago, I also thought of getting into PGMP space, but I never found enough traction for it. So yeah, again, program management is a very relevant thing, but nowadays people follow safe way of doing program management rather than having a PGMP way of doing program management. That's my observation. And another thing is, as we get into a senior roles, yeah, if you senior manager onwards, the certification starts losing their power, because at that space people don't get hired because someone is satisfied. You won't want to hire a director because the person was certified director. You don't. Yeah. So you probably want to hire manager, mid-manager level roles with the help of certifications, and sometimes certification work as a career transitioning tool. So because of, I think, these few reasons, I never see PGMP as a that popular thing. I do see PMI still running it, so I can't comment much. Yeah. But we never thought of getting into it as of now. Okay, how can I switch my career from tester to Scrum Master? So in a simple word, in order to switch your career from tester to Scrum Master, you need to focus on team leadership skills rather than individual contribution skills. That's true for developer also, that's true for testers also. If you can facilitate various interactions where people can make decisions, if you can make people agree to the process and follow something and produce some meaningful conversation, so you learn facilitation, you learn how to make things moving. Yeah, that's the whole thing. So you, by doing a facilitation and learning the Scrum theories. So Scrum theories that you really understand why this daily Scrum is, how to put the things, how to prepare a matrix, how to put a burn down chart, etc., etc. So if you're working as a tester in a Scrum environment, then you have an easy job because you can follow the Scrum Master, you can assist the Scrum Master, and then you can move in that direction. But if you're working as a tester, and that too in a non-Scrum space, then you may have a little struggle, because first you need to find out, maybe you can assist whoever your leader is to at least doing facilitation and process related work. So you get some knowledge from there, and then you acquire Scrum knowledge based on various certification and learning program. We have enough amount of videos to help you in doing that. Yeah. So that's what I can say here. So we do have a program called, we call it IESM, Industrial Enabled Scrum Master, where we focus on teaching you the job done by the Scrum Master on a day-to-day basis, yeah, so that you get ready as a Scrum Master. So if you are thinking of knowing exact role and profile of a Scrum Master, doing IESM along with your CSM is a good idea. Usually people do come to that program after doing CSM, so that they are clear in the theory and they want to learn more. Yeah. Okay, so we have a question coming in. How t-shirt sizing technique is compatible to planning poker? According to you, which one is better technique? Both are more or less same, more or less same. The only difference is, when we call t-shirt sizing, we have less number of buckets. You can say small, medium, large, extra large, and whatever the work is, we need to group into this. You may later on say small means 5, medium means 20, large means 100, and extra large means 400, or something like that. But it is like you are not getting into detailed understanding. So what you are doing is, usually when you have a very raw backlog, you want to categorize into high level space, and you end up having mapping to a story point for a small, medium, large as well. So that's a t-shirt sizing. You want to quickly come to the numbers, because, and the items are big. You don't want to have 40, after 40 you may directly go to 100. You don't want to get into 50, 60, 70, 80 like that. You can say, okay, this is what it is. So the outer range of your story point, the 20 onward range of your story point may work as a t-shirt sizing technique. But gradually, when you start moving into your backlog, you start refining it, you want to have further. classifications. You can't just work into a gap of after 10 there is 20, after 20 there is 100, like that. You want to have a little bit more, and that's where you go into a more Fibonacci series thing. So more or less the idea here is, since we have a bigger number, bigger group, bigger engagement, so you start using planning poker. So you use like it is wise to use t-shirt sizing when you want to do high level estimate. You are expected to have more errors in that particular thing compared to the real estimate. When you get closer and you want to reduce the estimation error to around 20-30%, the errors will always be there. Then you go for story point based planning poker technique, where you have more numbers on your card. Okay. Now, what is the next step after sprint is cancelled? You start the new sprint. So in a simple word, when you cancel a sprint, you do a retrospective and you start a new sprint. You understand how to avoid such kind of mistakes again. You do a quick retrospective and you start with a sprint planning. Why you are canceling the sprint? Because your previous planning and whatever you are doing is useless. So you need to start fresh. You start with a sprint planning. Okay, so how beneficial is for the project manager, Scrum Master to get acquired with a Lean Six Sigma? So we are not in Six Sigma space, so I can't comment because I don't know what is the content of a thing, something called Lean Six Sigma. Okay, what I mean when I say project-based Agile versus normal Agile, yeah, that's something is a question. So see, do you have a project? It means, is there some container which has a budget, which has a project manager, some kind of outline of scope that has to be delivered? So if you have a project as an existence, we call it project-based Agile. If you don't have a project, you only work directly for a product. We have a website, we need to maintain our website for next 10 years. That is product-based Agile. Then you don't have a project, then you don't have a vendor, then you don't have a project charter, you just have a product. So that's a non-project based Agile. PMI, the project management certification, is primarily for project-based Agile, which means even if with the Agile, you have a project charter, you have a project stakeholder, good percentage of your team is temporary, where they are primarily focusing on a project duration only. And there could be a vendor who is supplying something, and you might be a vendor, you need to take care of your invoicing and other stuff as well, other than just delivering a product. Yeah, so that is a PMI focused Agile space, which I usually use the term as a project-based Agile. Okay, so should a Scrum Master have a technical experience? So I did a research on it, and most of the job experience are asking Scrum Master to ensure technical quality, yeah, good technical competency in the team, rather than himself giving technical solutions. So in a simple word, what we can say is Scrum Master should be able to facilitate good technical quality in the team. So for that, the person should understand the technical knowledge. He is not expected to, again, if you are playing a dual role, then it's a separate case. But as a role Scrum Master, it's not a technical expert role. You have a technical expert separately. But since you are facilitating and leading and the technical people, you should be empathize with them. You should be able to relate to what problem they are going through. So some sufficient understanding of their technical areas, which can help you in resolving impediment and leading the team, is expected. Ability to solve your team members' problem yourself in a technical space is not a Scrum Master role. If you are doing it, you are doing an additional role along with that. Yeah. Now, pathway to getting into enterprise coaching, I would say ICP-CAT is the best thing to do. So in a simple word, ICP-CAT or enterprise coaching role is expected to bring Agile into the organization. That's the whole idea. Now, how do we bring Agile into the organization? What kind of things will be involved? So there will be a skill needed that you can educate people on Agile. There will be a skill needed where you can show them how it works, mentoring. There will be a skill needed where you are focusing on working with the other stakeholders and convincing and resolving their issues so that we have a stakeholder engaged into the transformation. And then coming up the path forward, not necessarily a detailed plan, and taking everybody along in towards that path forward, which produces more frequent releases, whatever the goal of their agility, you achieve that goal. It may be at a unit level, small organization unit level, it might be an enterprise level, and you will not be alone. There will be a team who is working in this whole particular movement. So that's a enterprise agility. Now, how do I move towards that? I need to have a good understanding of various flavors of Agile so that I can educate people on that. I need to have good hands-on experience on various flavor of Agile so I can show them how to run a retrospective meeting, how to do a large group planning meeting, how to do things. I can coach my Scrum Masters. I can tell Scrum Masters when things are not going good or not going right. I should be good understanding of various frames or tools related to Agile way of working so that I can guide people to put a right Jira configuration and all. So these are the high-level skills which are needed for enterprise Agile coach. Now, we do have the ICP CAT program, which get into little more detail, but I think that's a thing. So we in a simple way, any path forward, I make a list of the skills and competency needed for a particular job, and then I map it, and then I take a path forward towards that, and that's how we achieve the direction. So can you suggest some book for preparation for CAPM and CSM? So CSM, no book is needed. Scrum Guide is freely available. Whatever training you get in a 2 days CSM class or 3, in our case, we run a 2-day format as well as 3-day format. That's a good enough. Though it's a separate case, we give you a collection of videos, around 30 plus hours of videos, which can make you educate on various areas of Scrum. So you can watch those videos as well. That gives you a good thing. Yeah, so that's it. Now for a CAPM, as much I understand, it's been a while I looked at a CAPM program. It just understand your PMBOK knowledge. So PMBOK is the reference for CAPM exam. PMBOK is not a book for PMP exam preparation. Sometimes people take it like that. But for CAPM, PMBOK is the reference. And I think for a CAPM, it's still PMBOK 6. So you can just see and knowing the glossaries and terms and input outputs seems to be the key area for CAPM program. Yeah, so Scrum Master certification, there is a training for that. So there is a training called Certified Scrum Master from Scrum Alliance. If you visit our website, you can find that. Yes, it's a training followed by a simple online exam. Yeah, that's how it works. Okay. So we have an interesting question. Here we are saying, you join as a Scrum Master in the organization and you observe the team adopted Scrum framework in a modified way accordingly, and you working in a proper Scrum with the guidelines. How will you act and how will you communicate with the organization about such of an adoption? Now, this is a very, very tricky thing because you are coming with your own conditioning of what is proper. And the people who are in the organization, they have their own understanding of what is proper. And especially if the new guy is coming in who doesn't understand what the organization's realities are, and if starts saying this is right and this is wrong, many times it becomes counterproductive. So you may not get support and people may consider you sometimes theoretical, or sometimes they believe that you are not doing what is expected to be done. You don't understand our business and you are just trying to change and show that this is right, this is wrong. My approach, I don't declare anything wrong. Now, what is wrong? Assuming there is a written or explained in a Scrum and people are doing B. Is it wrong? If yes, what consequences of doing it wrong? If something is wrong, the consequences must come. Some bad results must be coming for that wrong thing. And if that bad results are not coming, then is it really wrong? Yeah. So what we need to see is whatever practice which you believe are little off track, you probably need to see what kind of problem the teams are facing because of those off track practices. And you focus on helping the team to solve those problems. Rather than saying that, okay, guys, don't do A, we can say, okay, let us focus on, we are facing this problem. Probably we need to do differently the A thing, because A thing is probably not helping us to solve this problem. And the different thing might be more aligned with the Scrum way of working. So problem oriented, benefits oriented, learning oriented rather than teaching oriented. That is my advice for new Scrum Masters, yeah, as well as Agile coaches as well. That's how I will look at it. Again, everybody has their own style, but that's how I will look at it. So can I have a reference for acquiring Jira knowledge sufficient for Scrum Master role? Yes, we run that program. Yeah, we run a 8 hours program for Jira, which will give you sufficient knowledge to get a Scrum Master profile ready. We do have some collection of videos which can also help you to get through. The first video tells you how to create your free Jira account, and then you take the path forward. So you can visit our website. We have a Jira program that can assist, and alternative is you can check some of our videos on Jira as well. Okay, so I think we are making good progress. I think we have covered good ground till now. Let me know if there is still something pending. We can talk. The process of putting the question is pretty easy. You just need to type it. If you are in a LinkedIn or in a YouTube live, it will reach us. Yeah, that's the simple way of interacting here. I'm thinking we may need to explore a little bit on Instagram live as well. Looks like it's been a pending project for a while.
Right. Yeah.
So let's see, maybe different set of people may want to have different communication channels. So as of now, we have this one, and then we have the Clubhouse one. That's something we have. Probably we want to have Instagram one as well at some point in time. Good, but as of now, we are here, and we can spend a little more time. If you have any questions, please put it in the chat box. I wait for a while.
Yeah, asking question is a very simple step. Just post your question in the comment box and we'll add your questions. So while we are waiting for the question, I'm just wanted to discuss something. So maximum time when the PMP people call our support team and they discuss about the PMP training and exam. So they show lots of fear about the PMP exam, how easy, how difficult it is, and after finishing the training, how much time I needed. So how you can make journey of a PMP participant more easy, more comfortable, and what all steps they should take.
So in a simple word, yeah, there are a lot of confusions and all. So one of the simplest thing you can do is join our Clubhouse call. We can handle your one-on-one queries as well. And it is not difficult, but it requires some amount of commitment. That's a simple thing. And if you reserve around 150 hours, then you are done. Yeah, whatever you do, if you have a generic understanding of project management, and you invest 150 hours. Now, beyond that, it will be a little detailed, but yeah, that's the minimum thing you need. Now, our way of working, we give you good content, which is just not about PMP certification. It also creates project management fundamentals in you. Agile way of working, project management way of working, Kanban way of working. We teach you all, yeah, as a pre-recorded video content. And once you are done with that, then we take a live class, which are basically 100% aligned with the PMP exam. So we give you a fundamental separately. So we don't spend time too much during the class on strengthening on fundamentals, whereas a class is more focused on how different content of PMP will come. So with the help of these two, and then you have a lot of practice tests to focus on and practice that makes you perfect for your PMP exam. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
we have lined up some questions. Okay.
So while agile coaches don't show interest in the profile who comes from web development to Scrum Master, I'm not sure. I think it's a good profile provided the other things are taken care. In my interaction with the people who are working in the agile and Scrum, I have not seen any bias towards web development, neither positive nor negative. So I think it depends upon the type of work they are doing. There is a possibility. One possibility is the web development done in a small organization and Scrum Master job done in a large organization like bank, they may not relate to it. So it's not about web development. It could be the experience type, the small project experience versus large project experience. And that's why these kind of gap I have seen sometime happening. People working in a relatively smaller organization facing difficulty in getting job in any profile, be it a developer, tester, scrum master and all. So usually they face little challenge in moving to a larger organization because larger organization recruiter try to find people who have been through similar background like them. So that could be the thing. But I don't see any particular bias for Scrum Master in my experience. Yeah, that's what I can say. Now, why Scrum is popular than other framework? I think people can write research about it. Yeah, it doesn't matter much. We need to focus on what is popular, which helps us in going forward. So my advice to everyone is that we need to focus on uh, 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 delivering and not getting into the unnecessary knowledge and analysis, because for us is what recruiter is asking, can I give it or not? That's it. So if people are asking for Scrum, we do it. Yeah, that's what it is. Now there could be many factors which makes anything popular. It's something like why the visual basic became more popular than something else. So there are many factors like the support, marketing, education programs, promoters, simplicity of the framework. But again, that doesn't help us much. We just need to learn what is getting asked in the market. Yeah. Okay, so I have an experience in UI UX for 5 years. I want to switch to product owner profile, but don't have a software development experience. So how do I obtain knowledge? Is there any way I can shadow PIDO where I can see live working on the processes? So see, shadowing and all work best in your current organization because your future organization may not give you those opportunities. If you want to learn, yeah, by way of having some mentoring call, we can arrange a product owner who is working as a product owner in a large organization coming and talking to you and facilitating your learning. That's a possible. We can have a package and that's something we can support. So that's a doable thing. But yeah, you probably need to find a shadow thing somewhere in-house. Now, does it require a software development experience for being a product owner? The answer is no. Even when you are working on UI UX, you might be already doing user persona analysis, customer journey analysis, the whole path of a transaction and interaction. And those are the type of skills which are more and more needed for PO. So they need to have a good understanding of persona so that they can visualize what possible needs the customer will have. You might be doing it from the perspective of how you come up with the UI UX for it, but they may focus on end-to-end need. So I see a good overlap in your work, the UI UX work, and the way product owners thinks. I see the UI UX work has a more specialized things added to it, whereas a product owner is more focused on business and market space. So that's something probably what I can say here. So what one can expect from a first phone interview? Minimum, they will expect to explain your profile to them. So you need to be very clear when they says, okay, tell me a little bit about your profile. You should have a clear, crisp answer. Yeah, that's the one answer you should be ready with. That's the minimum thing. And that answer may results into more questions. So you should be planning this particular type of answer may lead to this type of questions. Yeah, so that's something is possibly there. And the person who is interviewing you may have his own interest area where he may want to dig into. So it's very difficult to generalize what they dig into, but I can probably advise you to be very clear. How do you introduce yourself and what do you talk about your profile and how do you open things so that the future conversation you can probably predict at some extent. Okay, so may I know difference between vertical and horizontal slicing? So sometimes you face these terms and all. You should be able to focus more on the example as a product owner, especially. So it's like this. You are creating a requirement, dividing the requirement into small slice of requirement is a vertical slicing, and dividing the requirement into technical level like front end, database, middle layer, that is called horizontal slicing. So in a simple word, you can say the vertical slicing is like this, that if you have a cake, when you cut a cake, you get the whole taste of the cake. That's a vertical slicing. When you do a horizontal slicing of the cake, you only get a cream or something, because you have sliced it horizontally. So that's what they are saying, slice the cake vertically, and that's what we want to do. That user story should be sliced vertically. So you get the whole taste of the cake, end to end. So what the team can do when there is no development task, So see, in general, the Agile and Scrum way of working should not be dependent on someone creating task and someone doing it. That's not a right thing. So it depends upon who is asking this question. If this question is getting asked in the interview, you need to be a little suspicious. What is the intent? So they need to figure out what they want to do. What Scrum Master is facilitating, so that we can find out what we should do in order to achieve our goal. Now, if they don't have a goal itself, then Scrum Master should figure it out why it is happening. How can we work with the product owner so we have a path forward? So that's something is there. So you are interested in knowing more about the product owner mentoring, we can connect you. So drop us an email at sales@eisenbridge.com. We have few mentors who will be willing to work with you, and then you both can work out the timings and other details. We connect you with the industry mentors. Okay, so here we are.
So, guys, we have last 15 minutes. If you have any questions, any follow-up questions, please do not hesitate. Just drop your questions in the comment box. We'll add your questions. Saket will answer your questions. Yep.
And in the meantime, I can also talk about our Instagram channel in case you are not yet aware of. So we have an Instagram, and it's called 𝐻𝐸𝐿 Official. We also had something called 𝐻𝐸𝐿, but we are not using it much because we lost somehow access of it. So we have this 𝐻𝐸𝐿 Official channel. So you may want to check out, because we put some small reels as well. Recently, we have been posting small short videos on PM principles, project management principles. And it's been I think we are already done with 9 principles by now. And the remaining 3 will come soon in the next 2-3 days. So similarly, we run some series as and when. So you probably want to check. They are small short videos. There were a good number of videos talking about project scheduling as well. There is one more series going on coaching, on the life coaching, professional coaching space. So coaching competency series is also going on. So probably you want to check out. That's a good place to have a regular interaction, because these events happens once in 2 weeks, more or less, like second and fourth Friday. But the Instagram could be a more connected channel. So how do I measure the productivity of an individual developer? Difficult. You can't, probably. That's a simple work. You can do if you are doing very repetitive work, like bug fixing or something, then you can do. But if you are doing creative work, then it is difficult. So creative work, you can probably focus more on measuring commitment and engagement rather than productivity. So productivity is that how many items I have produced in a given day. Now, do you have a clarity of what items should be produced? And can I really know, is this item is really produced? So thinking that I can use story and story points to do it, it's a little vague, because all these things are very variable. So say if you are making burgers and if you are making pizzas and you have been doing it all the time, then it's easy. You can say this person has delivered 5 pizzas today. You have a clarity that guy made 5 pizzas and customer paid for it. Then it's good. But you can't say that this person has created 5 pages today. Now those 5 pages may become so dirty pages that you end up reworking on those 5 pages for next 6 months. There is a probability. Yeah. Now you only come to know about that rework maybe after 2 months. Yeah. So, or it may start producing defects after some time. So, or it might be not considering the real requirement made on the basis of the person's imagination. So, usually in today's world, wherever the creative work is done, we don't focus on individuals' productivity alone, rather, we focus on individual commitment and contribution. The productivity is measured at an overall team or org level because the work product we are producing is not alone produced by one person. It's a team job. Yeah. So that's the reason. So we can't say that if someone is scoring good goal in the football match, the person is productive. The people who are passing the ball is also productive. So it's a team sport. So if there is an individual sport like tennis or badminton or something like that, where the guy alone playing, then you can have a productivity measurement. Yeah. But you need to have that solo sport, that not the team sport. So how would you react to the attrition in the company project? What will you do to minimize it to your team? I think best we need to ask with the team. How do we handle it? From a project management, specifically PMI guidance, we need to plan for it by way of not having single point of failure. That's one important thing, which means people should be having shared understanding. One person leaving, other person should be quickly able to take the work. That's the one thing. So you don't have a silos, you have a common learning. Again, even with the common learning, there will be a cost. Again, we can't be just remain smooth even if someone coming and going. There will be always an impact, but some extent you can minimize the impact when people know what the person was doing. Yeah. So avoid single point of failure is a clear guidance in a PMP exam nowadays we take because it helps us in being ready. Yeah. So team knowledge sharing, avoiding single point of failure is something you can do. Yeah, to minimize the impact. Okay, so here are we. Great. So I think we are about to close. In case someone has some follow-up query, please post it here. I think, yeah. And do follow our Instagram page and comment there. Probably we can connect more frequently there. And at least we can take care of your query and comment then and there. You don't have to, yeah, probably wait for a session. Again, there are channels like emails. You can connect there. And you can check our website to find the upcoming programs. We have many programs coming in. We have PMP program starting next week. It's a weekday program, which means it has a 3.5-hour session in a given day. So for India, it will be a morning session. For US, it will be evening session. So like that. So then it's 2 sessions in a week. So, and then it runs for 5 weeks. So that format is usually more comfortable because people get time to catch up with the learning during the week. And I give a clear guidance what they should prepare before coming to the next class. So that's one program which is coming in. We do many skilled agile programs. Yeah, many possible leading safe Scrum Master, safe advanced Scrum Master. So all these programs are lined up. Yeah, Kanban, IC Agile coaching transition, all these programs are available. So yeah, I'm assuming that many of you are already done with CSM, CSP and all. So I'm not talking about it. They are again regular programs which are published on our website. But if you need more, please connect with us. We will be able to assist you. Good. I think we are done, I guess.
Yeah, so I think it was really wonderful session and very insightful. And before closing the session, just one last thing. I mean, I would like to ask you because I was still stuck on one question, like why Scrum is a so famous framework, and whatever I am talking to people about the safe. So, what do you think? What are the upcoming trends, and what kind of frameworks and certification can add value in people's profile going
So
forward?
usually these things are look backward more rather than forward, because it's very difficult to predict what is going to become next. Usually many people just wait to start seeing some triggers before they can take a call. Yeah. So what we see in general is that nowadays focusing on competency, skills, and business understanding or a delivery skill understanding seems to be more preferred rather than just sticking to the frameworks, because frameworks are good but they can't deliver. Yeah, ultimately our technical skills, our knowledge only has to deliver. Yeah, so that's something we can say here. Now there is a question: PO or a team member leaving in the mid of iteration, which one will have a more impact? We don't know. Yeah, depends. I may have a team member whom I was thinking of firing and he leaves, I have no impact. Yeah, so it depends. Yeah, who is that team member? So it depends. Yeah, and how useful the PO was, or how well my team knows about product. We have been working on a same product. Good of number of us understand product already. PO was facilitating something. Now he leaves it. Probably we all understand it. Someone can volunteer to become a PO and do it. Depends. So it is. See, the role like Scrum Master, Product Owner, Team Member, they are nicely defined in the Scrum Guide. But in reality, we need to see who is doing this role. The role is just a small piece. The real person makes the role. Yeah. So we need to see Mr. X leaving the organization, how much impact it will have, rather than saying PO leaving the organization. And based on Mr. X, who is that Mr. X, you will know the impact. Yeah. Okay, great. So good. Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for joining us and making this session insightful, wonderful. And we'll be back again on the fourth Friday of September month, which is 23rd of September. So the frequency of these sessions are twice in a month, second Friday and the fourth Friday. So the fourth Friday we have on 23rd of September. So we'll be back. And if you have some follow-up questions, and if you're watching these videos or the previous videos, you can drop your questions again. And I am quite active on LinkedIn. I'm sharing my LinkedIn profile here. You can connect me, and yes, whatever I can do for you, I'll help you for your queries. So take care of yourself and read more, learn more. Learning always helps. So take care of yourself. Bye for now.